We made a couple of attempts to buy a small Irish regional airline, but those who presently own it or those who presently control it could never appreciate the visionary strategy we had for doubling it in size. They prefer to get smaller and fund a pension scheme. It's grossly understated. It excludes the pilots' pension scheme, so the figure at present run rate, the figure would be another pension bailout of between 250 and 300 million. It'll bring to about 700 million the amount of money that the Labour and the unions have robbed from the shareholders since it floated in 2007. Paying out that kind of money to a defined contribution pension scheme is a scandal that would only take place in a government-controlled failing airline, but that's what it is, which is why we've been trying to sell our stake for the last 12 months, and surprise, surprise, nobody wants to buy our stake in Aer Lingus. There's no point in speculating. What happened when Aer Lingus floated in 2007? 200 million of the funds that were raised back in 2007 were put in to wipe out the pension deficit in 2007. The agreement with the unions at the time was it's now a defined contribution pension scheme. The company has no further liability to it. Everybody signed up, everybody signed off. And it is clearly a defined contribution pension scheme, because if it wasn't, the unions would have sued Aer Lingus. And like the great unspoken thing about the whole Aer Lingus pension debacle is, why haven't the unions initiated legal? Because they could just bully. You have Brother Beggs sitting on the board, like the dead hand of the trade unions. And again, they threaten the occasional strike, and the government and the bureaucrats in the Department of Transport fall over themselves to make concessions. And so what will happen, I suspect, again, is you'll get another 250, 300 million will be put into the pension scheme, and they'll agree again, yes, it's defined contribution until the next time there's a deficit. And for as long as Aer Lingus has excess cash on its balance sheet, the trade unions and the employees will keep robbing it. And the shareholders will keep left there with a begging bowl with nothing going on. So I think it's a joke, and it's the reason why, if you remember back, when some of our previous visionary transport ministers rejected a Ryanair offer of, I think there was the first one was at 280 a share, 220 a share. I think Aer Lingus' share price today is dwindling to about a euro 30. And someone should go back and ask Noel Dempsey and those other transport visionaries, Martin Cullen, Noel Dempsey and some of the other geniuses, as to why they turned down 6 years ago €2.80 and €2.20 a share. They did us a great favour. But then we wouldn't have been sitting around, in talking shops discussing whether we'd make an additional contribution to a defined contribution pension scheme. We would also double the size of Aer Lingus. It wouldn't be dwindling and getting smaller as it is now. It would be growing strongly.